Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Blackshirt Breakdown. My name is Steve Marik. I'm a staff writer at Inside Nebraska, and that man over there, is Jay Foreman, our NFL veteran and former Nebraska Blackshirt. Jay, how you doing, good sir?
I'm doing good, man. Obviously, it's another victory black shirt breakdown, so it's always good. And look, lots going on, and a lot of good things are going on. So it's always good to break this down.
Absolutely. Nebraska gets the 34-3 win over FCS program Northern Iowa. The Panthers came in ready to play. I feel like they were a good football team. They look like a good football team, and they kind of took it to Nebraska in that first half and put some good tape on they put some good tape on that Nebraska can learn from and make adjustments. And I'm sure, Matt Rule listening to him talk about this game throughout the week. Everybody kind of said that this was a good opponent to play with your Big Ten opener coming the game after that. So, yeah, Nebraska gets the win. They ultimately take care of business, 34-3, and we got about 6 or 7 plays here that Jay is going to be breaking down. And this is going to be a really fun one, I think, and show some good things, show some bad things. I think it's going to be really interesting. So let's get into it. Jay, that first play that we're going to be breaking down, Carter Nelson's series. So Carter Nelson saw some game action in the first quarter. The true freshman from Ainsworth, former 4-star freak athlete, 6'5", 230 pounds, can do just about anything you want. They dial up a screen pass for him, and then after he gets the first down, they dial up another play for him, and he takes it to the house. So Jay, first things first, let's check out this screen pass. What are you seeing?
Yeah, I think it's good. Well, number one, he's a great athlete, and they're bringing him on the right pace. They're not trying to force him to play tight end. He's a good enough athlete to be a matchup problem in the wing, along with Bonner. But this right here is a good way to get a young player into the flow of the game early. And, just to get him right, just could have pretty much an under route, essentially jailbreak screen from the slot. And you're seeing the good run after the catch. Now, number one, I like he catches it with the hands and the route right here, right? Sneaks a little bit, kind of freezes the DB, right? Coming there, got his hands ready. Good job by the offensive lineman of blocking just enough and then releasing downfield. The timing of this is really good, and that's obviously really important. And then for him, even though he's 6'5", try to hide behind those guys. Good block there by Lotoski. Got him a little
Mm-hmm.
pancake against a little pipsqueak. Good job by Carter Nelson, kind of using the ref as a shield and getting your run after contact is good in the run after the catch, and then obviously yards after contact. Excuse me, is good for him and get him excited into the game. I mean, he's a great athlete, and so you want him to be able to showcase some skills. So now what you did, you softened the defense up by having him play, with the screen. Just kind of that's an easy play, right? Where the time is right. Just let him use his God-given ability, and a lot of plays that you evaluated him on as a high school player. Now you got this is where when we talked about body types and matchup problems, right? Look at him, 6'5", going against that DB might be 6 feet tall, right? With height, weight, speed, you have the advantage, right? Good route right here, right? A little hesitation, crosses his face. Now, as a defender, he crosses your face. And what I always say, Steve, if you want to get explosive, I like the middle of the field, right?
Sure.
Look at him, great route, right? You split the guys, gets upfield, lost his balance a little bit, but then now you're starting to see the speed and power that he has, and he runs through this would-be tackler right here and gets his first touchdown. But this is all set up. Number one, the play design, right? And this is what you want right here. If you look at the lineup right here, if you could pause it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Up top, you got the
That's Heinrich Harburg way up
Heinrich
top.
Harburg with the white gloves, and I think that's Banks.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think that's Borkature.
Yes.
And then you got Nair at the very bottom, and then you got Carter Nelson right here. But right here, you're forcing the defense to defend 53 and a third, and then the length and the width of the field. I'm a big believer of the most efficient and explosive teams, and I always look at the Patriots and all the Chiefs and the Chiefs as well. You do your damage in between the hashes, right? That's where you can really get an athletic advantage, and it is no different than what the Chiefs do with Travis Kelce. Get him on a linebacker like myself, and you like your chances, right? Over and over and over. If you can do it 4 or 5 times a game, you're gonna win. Watch this right here, right there. Well, first of all, it's a great route, but really good job by Dylan right here. Watch what Dylan does right here. He knows where he's going because he knows where the advantage is. You see 33 go to his hook drop.
Yeah.
He holds that backside safety just by looking at him for a second, 33's out of there. And this play design is designed for Carter Nelson to win. This is a must-have play for whoever that slot offensive player is. And obviously it was Carter Nelson. He had to win, but it's all set up pre-snap. Watch Dylan right here hold. I think it's number 8. Watch this right here. Watch it. He knows where he's going already. See that look right there? The safety thinks he's getting business to the the trip side, which is never in the equation. Right? Watch. Hits it the back foot right there, delivers it on time, on target, catches it at a catchable spot where he's not too wide going to the opposite hash. He gets to stay inside the hash. Harder tackle for number 8 coming out of his safety position, a too high safety position, or it's too high right here because of the location of where the ball is and the route, and then also the pre-snap, I guess, fooling or pre-snap, looking the safety off by Dylan. So this is an all-around really good play, right? Again, right here, recap it. Looks him off, gets him a little wide. Carter Nelson wins against number 1. And then next thing you know, with the placement of the ball, it's before the other half, so it's not too wide. So he's allowed to catch it, turn up field, and makes that second or that third level tackle almost impossible. Watch this right here. Look, watch it right over the ref. He's able to catch it, turn up inside that half, and you see number 8 right there coming off the hash right there.
Yeah,
he can't make that tackle.
that's tough.
If he catches that ball towards the hash and turns up, that's an easier touchdown saving tackle by the tight end. Those are the little things that Dylan does, and that play design is meant for, and the execution is excellent. Watch it again. Win right there, catches it. He's able to turn it right up. Look at that. It's minimal to the naked eye, 2 steps, but it's the difference between possibly stopping him from getting a touchdown, and then the difference is Nebraska obviously scoring right here based on the ball placement. Obviously, it's set up by Carter Nelson winning, run after the catch, yards after contact, but more importantly, you had everything going in the right direction with the quarterback leading the way with looking the safety off to initially start that pretty explosive play.
I thought offensive coordinator Marcus Satterfield was showing some really good stuff on Saturday against Northern Iowa. He was in his bag. He was doing a lot of different formations. He was using a lot of different skill players. Dylan Raiola was really kind of seeing the field well for most of the night. He was distributing the ball to about 10 different guys, I think, on the entire game. So it was a really good first half, full of fun stuff for sure. And this next play was part of that. Ja'Cory Barney's 10-yard touchdown run off this reverse, which we've seen Satterfield try to get Ja'Cory Barney involved with plays like these, some misdirection type things, and just to get the ball in this kid's hands and let him go to work. And this one finally found the end zone.
Yeah, Barney's an explosive player, and he's been explosive since he got on campus, and they've been trying to get it to him and put some tweaks in it to be even better. Look at Borkacher right there leading the way, makes 8 retreat. But the play design is pretty good right here. And the timing of these plays are important, right? It looks like a toss, right? In the Northern Iowa defensive back, I guarantee you it's a lack of communication, which leads to what? Explosive plays and touchdowns against your defense. Good blocking by the offensive line. You've seen Scott and everybody's on guys, and guys are on the ground. And then Barney right here using his God-given ability, and it's almost like you're putting him into a punt return situation, right? Where he gets right past you, that first level of defense, and next thing you know, he gets one-on-one with somebody. He's gonna, obviously get to the end zone. But great play design right here. This is a good look right here, and good mesh right there. Good job by Borkacher, not just stopping as I think 29 came in and kind of tried to submarine the play. He gets out. Good job, good patience there by Barney. And what did he do? He set up and read his block actually perfectly, and his speed allows the defensive lineman there, number 57, not being able to get out of the stack and make a tackle. And he scores right here, even though he got a physical hit by number 3. Yeah. Good job there. Good play design, good execution, good timing of it, too, for Barney. And it's his first touchdown. And it's a play that they've tried to run at different times, different kind of, little wrinkles to it. And this time it worked out for him.
So one thing I'm wondering, Jay, so Borkacher's lead block here, is he not wanting to block? Is number 29, that edge player screaming off the edge, is that not his blocking assignment? Because it looked like he was trying to avoid him so he could get to his assignment.
Those are the guys that you want to run themselves right out of the play.
Yes, okay.
And it's a good job by him avoiding him, and then a good athletic ability too, right? Yes. Look at 29. He eliminated himself, And that's what the play design. It's probably something they've seen on tape where he crashes down really hard,
Sure.
with a toss away, and so it sets up perfectly for like a toss slot reverse to Barney,
Hmm.
who's a very explosive player and he's tough. And see right there, he gets that. Once he gets that, like I always say, once he's even with you, he's leaving.
Yep.
And that's what 29. It was a crucial mistake there that he played with no eyes. And if you want to, listen, Northern Iowa is a college player doing this. If you go back for you Chiefs fans, that's the same thing they did against Joey Bosa in the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes actually just he did the read option and got 15 yards twice. So
Mhm.
use their aggressive nature against them, and now you're up by more than 2 scores.
Let's switch sides to the defense right now. I thought Kai Wallen, every single time that Kai Wallen gets an opportunity on the field, he's doing something good. This is another one. He showed it against Colorado. He showed it against UTEP, and now he's showing against Northern Iowa. Jay, what do you see here? Him beating the left guard. Obviously, Nash Hutmacher taking up 2 bodies is key here as well. Also with Vincent Shavers Jr. coming off the edge from the second level. But what do you think about Kai Wallen? What has he shown you? His first 3 games here, obviously, just is a really pretty quick, efficient move to beat this left guard.
Yeah, Steve, let's go back to when we first broke him down. He's one of my favorite gets out
Yeah.
there, just by initial size, length, and
Hmm.
and explosiveness coming out of JUCO. And I think he has some Kansas City, I think, ties or something like that or whatever. But I really liked his skill set and his ability to bend in hands and stuff like that right here. Good move right there. Good like inside swipe. Good punch right there. It's like this is a teaching tape right here. Set him up, kind of hesitation. Look
Hmm.
how violent he is with this left hand right here. And it's short. It's kind of like a rabbit punch in boxing. It's not a wide windup, right? This is a good job at Terrence Knight teaching this. Watch it. See that right there?
Oh, yeah.
The swipe over there, right? He came with just a
Hmm.
one-hand swipe, over move, clean, and got vertical, square shoulders. Good hit, him and Shavers, bringing the pain to that quarterback, which you need to do this week against Illinois to get him off the spot and disrupt their timing. But it's all team too. Look at Nash doing his
Hmm.
job, drawing 2 guys. Now he had a big game last week, so guys are going to focus on him and Ty. So
Hmm.
you got to still, pass rush and knowing that you're part of the result of Kai and or Kai Whalen and obviously Shavers getting there into the quarterback and getting the hit on the quarterback. It's all a team defense, and everybody's going to benefit. It's just a matter of when your time and opportunity is called, and it was Kai Wallen's job. You want to get your defensive line guys into one-on-one situations and create them both by alignment or a little bit of a stem action or a blitz or delayed blitz from the second level, what you saw from Shavers.
Hmm.
But the execution of knowing when you're going to be one-on-one and knowing like how you're going to get there and the finishing move right here you're going to get on him, right? And you see it, left him there, feet in the sand, looked like he was, had, cement feet right here, but it's all set up by the get off execution right here. Look at that great move right there. Obviously that's a plus, and then you get to finish with a good, clean, physical hit on the quarterback, along with Shavers too. Look at the bend right here by Shavers. I like that right
Yeah.
there, getting underneath his pads, the leverage. Low man always wins. I like it right here. Look at the high stab by the offensive lineman. Good job by Shavers right here. Watch this, right? You're going vertical, and watch when he drops his hips and his pads right here, and then he leans into 75, and
Hmm.
75 actually helps him run the hoop to get in there. And now you got to bring the pain. It's not just the sacks; it's the cumulative hits. And this is early in the second quarter that you want on
Yep.
a quarterback, and let them know that they're in for a long night, and you're going to have to do it again come Friday night as well.
So obviously only 3 points given up from Tony White's defense, but as everybody kind of watched, Nebraska's defense did have a little bit of trouble with Northern Iowa's run game. But again, like 3 points on the board. What else can you say? But there were some moments that made you think like, oh, the Panthers are doing something here. So, Jay,
Right.
what did you see
And
from Nebraska's defense, against Northern Iowa's run game? Because there were some moments where the Panthers kind of gashed them and picked up some chunk
well,
yardage.
well, first of all, these guys are football players. They're on scholarship. They're allowed to compete. They're going to
Mhm.
make adjustments, and they feel very comfortable running the ball against anybody. That's a big physical offensive line for
Sure.
FCS right here. And this is what they try to do. They try to what they try. They're not going to run straight at you. They're going to try to out leverage you and get you by numbers, right? And that's the hard part. And that's the when you have a physical running game when you got 2 big backs. Look how big that running back is right here. Watch
230
this right here coming.
pounds.
Right. And so what you have to do, you have to be crisp in your run fits. You have to be violent, and then you gotta not only do your job, but then go play football. So it's a 3-man front right here, and you got a big old tight end, athletic tight end, can reset the edge. You got a little bit of a kind of a middle gap rush right here, right? You got to play with hands. It's a good job right here. Good job by Ty and everybody. And then you got the puller of 45, right? So as we saw 29 kind of get, aggressive and miss it, you try to dig this out. You need the linebacker to be downhill, coming tight off of his butt, and it would be a face-up tackle. So you're just a little bit wide right there. And I think that's Thompson that comes over, and when you're hitting from the side, it's a little bit of a yards after contact. Princewell got in on the tackle, and then Hartzog kind of finished him off. And so when you're playing against a running a team that is exclusively trying to out physical you, and this is who they are, you just got to be a little bit crisper in here, right? And this is a good job by Princewell right here. Come in here. Now you need your eyes up, right? You want to be with hands right there. He does a good job of recovering, right? And seeing the ball, right? And so you want to try to spin out and get in here. Now you got James, the closer Williams, right? He's got to dig this out, and you actually want to be a little bit square there if you can, right? But
So
you
you
got
want his
washed
shoulders
a little
up.
bit, but you know
Yeah.
what happened. I mean, this would also people need to understand. This is the in my opinion the best run play for this defense because you got your defense kind of going to the right, like kind of slanting a little bit. Because if you go back, right, go all the way back to the beginning, right, you got Ty Robinson who is on head up on the center with what is called a zero technique, and then you got Prince Well coming up, and he's probably supposed to be in the opposite A gap. So Ty's going to the right A gap. I'm assuming Prince Well's going to the left A gap.
Mhm.
So the play's going away from him. So it's the perfect call for this defensive call right here, because that makes James's job that much harder because they're washing him down. So he actually has to do. He's actually doing a pretty good job here. Obviously, you probably like him to get a little bit lower to kind of cause a little bit of a pile, but you got to knife in there and try to dig that guy out of there because you don't want that running back to be going straight downhill and hit his head on the goalpost. Now, look, it's not all that bad. A little bit. See that hop right there?
Yes.
That's probably just, Dvorak is going to, all right, we got to be a little bit tighter and gather our feet. A wide base is not the best that you want right here. And this is like being real
Hmm.
nitpicky.
Hmm.
So it's a perfect call for this defense to gain some yards. I like it. Tony White would say, look, we got two guys there, right? Two guys there. We got to make that tackle, and so you just got to be a little bit more physical. And what happens is when people see things like this happen, you're like, oh, the run defense, this, and this. No, you got two guys there. It's all about run fits, angles, and play entry, right? So even though it's not ideal, they have an answer because that means you have two people got there. So you have an answer for this play. So watch this right here. It's the perfect call for what Nebraska's doing. They're going to offense's left, Nebraska's right. Okay, now James has got a hard job, dig out a physical, athletic fullback right here, or tight end, and then now you got two linebackers. One that's got to be your scraper, and then one other one's got to be your filler. So we need to scrape tighter for on the play side,
And that's
and the
Bullock,
fill.
right?
Yep, that's the scrape. What depends on whoever. I mean, you could be,
Hmm.
and then you got Thompson that's got to fill, and you need Hartzog to be there a little bit earlier as well. So you want to hit him all at the same time, and it'd be three guys tackle him, and then you can stop him and not letting them have yards after contact. So it's just a little technique things along with it's the perfect offensive call for this defense because it puts the outside guy, which is James Williams, in a not in a no-win situation, but he has to do a really good job of digging it out of 45 because if he stays outside of 45, Bullock is expecting to scrape tight. He'll run right past Bullock, and it won't give Thompson enough time to get over top and be able to be a secondary, I call it an alley player or fill player as far as the run time. So we need to scrape a little bit tighter, and then we just need to be a little bit more crisper in our over the top player here with Thompson right here, right? So you like both. You like that. Let me see the five of Bullock and the five of Thompson to be toe to toe or the foot to foot. So you want
Gotcha.
Bullock's right foot and Thompson's left foot to kind of be even right there, and they're both hitting them straight up. And then you like Hartzog to be coming, to be the cherry on the top. So this is a little bit of like leaky yards right there, and those are things.
Hmm.
And it's good that after a win that you can go and teach on this, harp on the
Yeah.
little things. And granted, I'm not a coach. I don't know what they're doing. I'm just going off from my linebacker experience. But then also, you have answers. The hardest part in if you're coaching football is you don't have answers. You can say, okay, we gave up, what was that, 8 yards, 9 yards, but
Mhm.
we have an answer at 3 yards. We have an answer at 4 yards. So it's up to us just to do it, and they know they can go and fix it just by going and emphasizing in practice.
This was one of the first plays of the second half. Northern Illinois got the ball. They faced a 2nd and 3 and then got another chunk run, first down run again towards James Williams' side to the field. Jay, what do you see here? Looks like Makai Bear is crept up to line of scrimmage over that B gap. Yeah, what do you see here?
Well, right here, again, what teams are going to try to do is they're going to try to get numbers and leverage on you. So leverage is like they're trying to get more blockers to a side than you have defenders. So this is where they're doing it. And I don't know what they're doing up front because it looks like Mackay is blitzing here. It might be
Yeah.
both him and Princewell, right?
Hmm.
So that means Bullock has got to be you got to be the running hitter right here. But guess what happens? It's a crack replace right here, right? And maybe he's over top. I don't know what, but then you got Hartzog overran it, and so now you're in survival. This is a really good job here by Bullock, right? You're taking on 2 defenders,
Sure.
staying alive, right? Like John Travolta, and allowing the defensive lineman to come out of the stack, and then Gifford to come up and make the tackle. And sometimes, you know what? You just get got, or they have a good play on them. And so what you'd like to do is to kind of create a pile and knock off these pullers right here. They tried to do it and wasn't able to do it. That allowed them to get outside. Good job there by Bullock by not just giving himself up, but he's staying alive, right? So right now there is no right decision. At least when you got 2 guys, right, or three, right?
Mhm.
He stayed alive, kind of gave an assist. He became the actually force player by staying alive. Watch this, right? I mean, to me, this is a good job of like, remember when Tony White says, listen, they starting at A and, it doesn't matter how they get to C as long as they're making plays. This is
Yeah.
an example right now. I'm sure there's things that he's going to want to do better, right? Or whatever. But this is a perfect example. Look at Bullock right here of staying alive. Oh, he actually, outran 83, kind of slipped off 65 and 45, allowed for the troops to rally to get there to survive and play another down. I mean, this is a really good play. Obviously, it needs to be cleaned up, but I just want to emphasize this right over the top, make a decision, right,
Mhm.
going full speed. And the thing is about it that's pretty cool, and I don't know if he knows this, is like he knows that probably Hartzog needs to be the force player, right? So what he's able
Mhm.
to do is get over top, right? And make a decision on the move, right? Look at this. He's making a decision on the move. He's making another decision right here. You know what you're saying? Oh crap, right here, what I'm gonna do. But he knows I cannot let this guy get outside. No
Mhm.
matter what, I can't let him get outside. And so once he does that and makes a great decision, there's James Williams, there's Ty, there's Nash, and there's Isaac Gifford coming up there and getting the hit. So there's things that need to be cleaned up. You probably like better crack replace because when you get this motion right here at 83, you need Hartzog to come down there and be that force guy. It
Mhm.
didn't happen. In the years past, I think guys would be like, okay, I just did my job and just let the dude, he probably would have kept running. The effort, the execution is not pretty, right? It's not probably teach tape. But
Mhm.
what you can teach is guys making plays that aren't showing up in the playbook. This is like a hockey assist right here by Bullock
Mhm.
right here.
Mhm.
This is like I don't know what the techniques are or whatever, how they grade them. But for me, just looking right here, I like this play right here for him making a decision and being a team player. Good defenses have plays like this, right? Where you come over top right here. You're in a you know what, because very easily he could have just submarine and got blocked, right? Then the
Yep.
dude's still running. And we're talking about he might be the next Eddie George, right? I mean, look how big this kid is. He goes over top. He gets into 2 guys. He's taking up 2 guys and essentially 3 because 83 couldn't block him. He almost makes the tackle, right? And he doesn't have a soft edge coming from the second level, and it allows Isaac Gifford to go scot free to go in there and make a tackle on a 6, 7, 8 yard run or maybe a 10 yard run that wasn't a 20 yard run or a 30 yard run or possibly a touchdown. And
Mhm.
then the air is out of the stadium, right? And so obviously they were able to stop him after this, and those are the plays that you need when the execution isn't 100% perfect. You need plays and players to make those second effort plays, those like unsung hero plays that don't show up in the stat sheet because you never know. Just say, for instance, we make a stop there. Then the next play, we get a sack, forced fumble, fumble recover, touchdown. Everybody's going to talk about whoever got the touchdown, but the play actually was made, or that big play was made by this play by John Bullock right here. Remember when Rule highlighted Banks and the extra effort a couple games ago going to block?
Yeah.
You didn't get any credit for it, but those are the plays that you need in order to do better on offense and defense. But obviously, just a little bit need to clean up a little bit the run fits on run blitzes, because it obviously was a run blitz. And those are things that you need to get better at. And obviously, Mekhi Barry just coming right off the bench after being suspended for a half, just getting into the game. So just a little bit of execution, and you got to be aware of it next week, because obviously Illinois is going to probably try to out leverage us on some plays if they can't run it like straight ahead at us.
Jay, last one here, about 8 minutes left here on the clock, but you mentioned execution during your breakdown of that run play over there. I thought we're going to end on a really positive note here with some execution through the pass game with Dylan Raiola. I really, really, really loved this play from him because it showed his elite accuracy and his ability to kind of just maneuver around the pocket when it's kind of collapsing and pressure is bearing down on him. What did you see on this play?
Yeah, I mean, this is Dylan just in, maturation process, right? Right here, you get a little bit of kind of pressure, right? And you got to be able to step up right here and get your feet. I like this right here. I mean, this is like teach tape. Watch this right here. Look at that base right there, right? And what happens? You got initial pressure. So I always say one of the guys that was sneaky in the pocket was Dan Marino and Tom Brady.
Sure.
They had pocket presence, right? So Ben Hart gets beat a little bit, right? And it's up for the quarterback to make him right. See that slide right there, right? Eyes up, climb a little bit, the hop step. I know where I'm going. Why? Because I know exactly what everybody is doing, because I have a pre-snap read, I have a post-snap execution, no matter even if it's not perfect or not. This is the death by 1,000 paper cuts that we didn't have last year, or really didn't have at any point recent in our program from the quarterback position. Make plays that are off schedule. Right? Northern Iowa has a pesky defense, quickness, and that's what how they beat you. Look at that. Only where Banks can catch it. Good catch there by Mr. Banks. Good execution and ball placement by Dylan. But more importantly, he knew exactly where he was going pre-snap read. He knew exactly what he was going to do post-snap, because just because he has to get off of his spot doesn't mean that he can't play quarterback anymore. This is what happens when you have a legitimate quarterback. Good play right there. Obviously, slow motion showing the arm angle and all that. But it's more or less the accuracy. Look at right in there between 33 and whoever the defender is. Only where Banks can catch it. Perfect coverage, right? Better executions. I always say this, look, good pitching in playoffs beats good hitting every time. Doesn't matter if you're Barry Bonds. If you go against Rivera and Randy Johnson, you're just going to have a long night. Good job right here. Good job climbing right here. Watch this. Climb. Ball security. Good job by the offensive lineman. Kind of second effort. Wasn't perfect. And then you got a 13-yard pass on 1st and 10. Right there, as a defensive coordinator, I'm throwing my pen, because I got good pressure, and really good coverage, but we just got better quarterback and better receiver right there. And it's good angle, right? Look at this. And it's good coverage, right? And look where look where the defender's doing. He's trying to go and knock the ball down. It's not, look right there. But there's who can only catch it. Jamal Banks. This is the difference between Dylan and maybe some other guys that are playing as freshmen. He knows where to throw it. The trajectory, obviously velocity, and obviously the execution is good, but it's good. I mean, that's probably what gets coaches excited, or obviously our coaches excited, where he's able to make plays off schedule. That's good. That's what you want. This is just a part of his process, man. And in the offense's process. I mean, I think the one thing you could take into it that they've played 3 different ways in 3 different games. Kind of UTEP kind of did a little bit of everything. I think Colorado, they beat up Colorado pretty good, like to beat them up a little bit more. And then they beat up Northern Iowa and ran the ball pretty good. You've seen Emmett Johnson close it out with a 36-yard touchdown, but they were able to throw the ball, deep a little bit more and, come with some explosive plays. So I think everything's all good.
Jay, what are your thoughts on next Friday night, 7 p.m. kickoff against the Illinois Fighting Illini? Illinois is coming in here 3-0, just like Nebraska. They've beaten Eastern Illinois, Kansas at home, and then Central Michigan. So, when you look at these two teams, Nebraska's beaten UTEP, Colorado, Northern Iowa. UTEP, I don't think is going to be very good. Colorado, I don't think is going to be very good. And then Northern Iowa is Northern Iowa. But when you look at Illinois, Eastern Illinois is what they are. Kansas is not looking like it's the Kansas of last year as of this point in this season. Still a long way to go. And then they take care of business against Central Michigan. What are your thoughts on next Friday night's Big Ten opener?
I think it's gonna be. I mean, look, man, it's gonna be a street fight, and that's
Yep.
good. Brett Bielema's teams ain't changing. They're gonna be a big physical unit. They know exactly who they are, what they want to do. They feel pretty good about their quarterback. We feel good about ours. They got a couple really good guys that have been playing a lot of Big Ten football on defense,
Mm-hmm.
and they feel like they can create some havoc with their first and second level. So ultimately, it's going to come down to execution, and that's including special teams. We gotta win the special teams battle, and we gotta win first and second down offensively and defensively, and I think we'll be fine. I like the matchup for Nebraska. We played them. I think it suits us well. I think it's a great game for Tony White and the defense to come out and establish himself. I think Illinois is making a conscious effort to try to be more explosive with their two receivers in the pass game. That bodes well with our guys, and
Mm-hmm.
they want to try to run it. Let's see what we got, and I think if we go out there and tackle well, we'll be just fine.
And we know Memorial Stadium is going to be lit for that game. I mean, the crowds that have been showing up in Lincoln for these games, everybody's behind this football team because they know it could be something really good. So, yeah, great stuff as always, Jay. Always learn something when I'm talking about this stuff with you. So, for Jay Foreman, I am Steve Marik, and that was a Blackshirt Breakdown Northern Iowa edition. We'll catch y'all later.